Right, so let me just introduce myself. I am Chloe. I'm a mum of three young children. I've got a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And I am also a doTERRA wellness advocate, and I work from home. I am a stay at home mum, so life is very, very busy. And yes, so I basically, the point of the class today, it's the subject today is green cleaning. So we're going to look at why you should green clean, kind of ways to green clean, and then there's various other bits at the end that I can explain to you. Like there's a free ebook for cleaning if you are interested. Um, but yeah, first of all, I'll just briefly explain how I got into essential oils. I've always been into the natural solutions my whole life. That's kind of the way my parents brought me up. So things like homeopathy and osteopathy and acupuncture and that sort of thing. So essential oils weren't anything new to me, really. But it wasn't until I discovered these oils by doTERRA that I they was blown away by how amazing they were. They just completely smell different. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you, Ruth, you've smelt them anyway, so you know. But they're just unlike anything else. And I once using them, that I was just blown away by the things that they could do. Initially, I started using the oils just for physical kind of ailments, so things like headaches or trouble sleeping, anything like that. And then I kind of went into the more emotional side of things, so use it to change mood and to calm anxiety and that sort of thing. And then now I'm really loving getting into the kind of using them in my house and trying to detoxify everything that's going on in my house, because as I'll say tonight, we are surrounded by so many toxic chemicals that we just don't realize. So for me, it was very, very good to actually start looking at what I was putting on my children and looking at what I was cleaning my house with and putting on my skin, and actually being empowered to actually change that. And actually now I use barely anything that's bought. I make everything myself, and it's very easy and very cheap. So I will go into that anyway now. So let me just okay. Yeah, so obviously everyone is incredibly busy. Everyone's got so much stuff to do. Everything's stressful. So people just think, right, I'm just going to get whatever I can from the shops, just the quick and easy thing. But obviously that you're not always looking at what actually is in a product. And some people just go for the quick fixes, something, oh, it smells clean, it's fine, it's great. But actually there are quite a lot of issues with that that we'll talk about tonight. So let me just go to them. So the slides are playing up a little bit. Right, here we go. So yeah, obviously cleaning products, there is no regulation with cleaning products, unfortunately. So unlike food, the cleaning products don't have to list their ingredients on the back, which I find actually really shocking. So it's harder for us to kind of choose which ones would be the right ones for us to use. And some things can be labelled just as fragrance, but they can actually be really quite harmful chemicals. And they say that these chemicals, like the producers say that these chemicals are fine in small amounts, that they're safe. But they've never done tests on people using these chemicals regularly. And obviously we do when we're cleaning our houses, we use them regularly. And they've done no tests at all about the build-up or the cumulative effect of using these products. And there's no research of long-term use either. So we're potentially using things that might not be safe, and in a lot of cases have actually been proven not to be safe. And obviously another really worrying thing, I know, Ruth, you were mentioning this, speaking about this before, but children are more vulnerable. So if they're exposed to chemicals in the house, because of their developmental states, and certain chemicals can interfere with the development of their neurological, endocrine, and their immune systems. And younger children, obviously, they have much, much higher respiratory rates than adults, so therefore they absorb much more of the air contaminants per unit of weight, basically meaning that they experience, they inhale more, which is really, really scary. And obviously, as we will talk later, let me just see if I can go to the next slide here. As we'll talk about, we'll talk about individual chemicals that are in things, but things like air fresheners, they are the worst possible thing you can have in your home. They're so toxic. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a sore throat today. So most conventional cleaning products, they're basically chemical cocktails, as I said, but they work also, we think. And they fight the bacteria, and they make your house smell clean and your laundry smell clean. There's a lady who wrote a book actually called Supernatural Home, and she's called Beth Greer. Anyway, she estimates that the average home contains 62 chemicals, toxic chemicals. So I think that's really shocking. But obviously there's some that would contain lots more. But also the American Environmental Agency, they did a study where they tested the air inside the average house and outside, and they estimate that it's 200 to 500 times more toxic inside the home than outside. And if you think, obviously outside you've got traffic, you've got pollution, you've got all those sorts of things. So how bad are the products that we're using? It's not nice to think about. And it's one of those things, it's also about retraining your brain a little bit, because obviously we've been trained to see that the smells make something clean, when actually sometimes the smells that are added in are actually more toxic. And sometimes these chemicals, yes, they may make your house smell nice, but they're actually killing off everything. So they're killing off all the good bacteria and everything as well. And it's one of those things that, clean doesn't have to mean chemical at all, as you'll find out tonight. And you can save money. And it's amazing to actually be able to support your body and help your body recover. Because obviously we store, as I'll talk about, we store toxins in our cells, in our bodies. And that's really, really not good for them. So there's ways to detoxify as well. Right, so get to the next slide. Right, so obviously here we will talk about the essential oils in a minute, but it's one of those things that actually essential oils can be a great part of your cleaning routine, and other natural solutions as well, which we'll talk about, and they can help you clean more effectively a lot of the time. They cost a lot less, and obviously they're much healthier. So we're basically going to look through some of the worst toxic offenders commonly found in household cleaning products and things you might have in your house, and find out ways that we can swap them for healthier, safer, and much nicer options. So let's see what we can. So this phthalates, they basically are one of the chemicals that can be found in air fresheners. Now, air fresheners are the most toxic thing basically that you would have in your home potentially, and ones I was looking up, there's a great website, I can give it to you later if you want. It's a great website that has all the products, all cleaning products and stuff, and their toxic rating, and lots of well-known brands were in the kind of worst possible zone for toxicity. So I thought, oh God, and you can buy that in Tesco, you can buy that anywhere. And I just thought people are just using these things without even realizing. So I can't even say it. Phthalates are found in products containing synthetic fragrances, basically. So air fresheners, as I said, things like washing up liquid, and sometimes even toilet paper, which I find really shocking. I know you can buy scented toilet paper. And obviously, as I said, the companies don't disclose that what the scent is, what's in that scent, so you won't find the ingredients on the label, as I said. But yeah, if you see the word fragrance, there's a good chance that those things are present there, and they're known as endocrine disruptors. Men obviously have higher phthalate compounds in their blood, which can massively reduce sperm count, and also there's other things, so things like so through inhalation it can cause issues also with skin contact, and obviously the skin is a very because there's no guards at all. Obviously if you ingest something, it goes through lots and lots of kind of sieving processes, and your digestive system is very good at filtering out toxins, but your skin doesn't. There's no barriers whatsoever, so there's no safeguards. It goes straight into your bloodstream, so that's why it's quite worrying. So the next ones, I really should have practiced how to say these words before, but I'm going to say PERC is slightly better. So this one is things like dry cleaning solutions, carpet cleaners, and spot removers, all those sorts of things. And they basically say that they classify it as a neurotoxin, which is so worrying. And the EPA classifies it also as a possible carcinogen. So we're just using these and people just aren't thinking about it. There was a study that people who live in residential buildings where dry cleaners are located have reported dizziness, loss of coordination and other symptoms. So that's really, really bad. And that's just some, I mean, obviously, you know, when you get stuff back from the dry cleaners, it has that kind of smell that you know isn't natural. But yeah, it's kind of worrying though that people just do this every day and they don't even think about it. Now, the next one you might have heard of already, triclosan. This one is one that actually worries me, I think, the most because it's so common. It's in so many different things. And obviously it's found in hand soaps and also washing up liquid, anything that's kind of labelled antibacterial generally. So you just have to be careful. And basically what triclosan does is an aggressive antibacterial agent that promotes the growth of drug-resistant bacteria, which is just so scary. And it's the AMA, the American Medical Association, they found no evidence against these antimicrobials that make us healthier or safer. And they're particularly concerned about the overuse of antibacterial chemicals. And that's how microbic develop, how they have resistance because of this. And the EPA, they're currently looking at triclosan because of it has negative effects on thyroid and thyroid hormones. So there's many, many things. And this is something that is in so many soaps. That's the thing. I found one the other day, and sometimes I look at the aisles in the supermarket and I had a look and I thought, oh, it's really, really bad. Another one that we've got to be careful of is this, which is cute. It's quartz, they call it. And this one is in fabric softeners. I mean, I've never used fabric softeners, but I know a lot of people do. And it can be, yeah, as I said, it's a skin irritant. So there was a 10-year long study of the contact with skin, and it found that it was one of the leading causes of dermatitis, contact dermatitis, and it also affects the respiratory system as well, and can cause respiratory disorders. So that's also another worrying one. We're not going to talk about all the bad things all night. In a minute we'll start talking about how we can avoid these. Right, so the next one we've got, so this is butoxanthonol, I'm guessing. So this is window cleaners, kitchen cleaners, multi-purpose sprays, all those sorts of things. And this ingredient is key in loads and loads of them, and gives them the kind of sweet smelling, I don't know if you've ever smelt the sweet smell that they have. It's the category of it is called glycol ethers, and it's basically a really powerful solvent. But the law doesn't require it to be listed on the product's label, which is, again, that worries me. According to the EPA's website, in addition to causing sore throats when inhaled at high levels, glycol ethers can also contribute to narcosis, pulmonary edema, and severe liver and kidney damage. So again, this is stuff you just don't want in your house. But they also set a standard on it for workplace safety. So if you're cleaning your home in a confined area, like an unventilated bathroom, which obviously a lot of us do, you can actually end up getting it in the air levels that are higher than what the workplace safety standards they've set are. So yeah, another not so good one. Right, I think we're nearly there on the bad ones. I think we've got one more. So sodium hydroxide, obviously, this is very common. This is one you can really, really smell. And this is in oven cleaners and drain cleaners. So it's incredible. I think I've always known this one's incredibly toxic because you can't even breathe it. It's known as lye, LYE, sodium hydroxide. It's very corrosive and it can cause real burns. So you'll see the kind of skull and crossbones on the back of the bottle with that. But yeah, so it's things like Mr. Muscle, oven and grill cleaner, and all those ones. They contain poisons that can cause difficulty in breathing. because because the fumes, and also this obviously causes swelling in the throat. So it's just really, really unpleasant. Yeah, and there's another one that's I'm sure in hand washes you've had a look. I've started looking, as I said, in hand washes more recently, and this one is there's various ones. This was just in a supermarket. And it's just anyone can buy it, and basically there's lots. I mean, so you've probably heard of sodium lauryl sulfate or the SLSs. Always try to get products without that. Obviously triclosan we've talked about, parfum, which is basically fragrance. Then the last one, which methylisothiazolone, is basically, it's a neurotoxic chemical, and it has a direct bad effect on your nervous system, and it's found in our hand soaps. I think yes, it blows my mind anyway. And with this one, the government has actually said it's not considered safe anymore. So this is a government paper that was issued, but people are still using it. So obviously they are slightly waking up to the fact that these chemicals are very toxic, but obviously it's a slow process. That's the thing. Excuse me. Right, so what happens to our bodies when we are inhaling these, when we're exposed to these chemicals? Obviously our bodies, they store all these bad toxic chemicals in our fat cells to keep them away from our vital organs and protect us. But there are some pathways of elimination, as we can see here, like the liver and the kidneys and the colon, but obviously they can only do so much. The most exposed pathways that we have are the lungs, gastrointestinal tract, and as I said before, the skin, because obviously there's no barriers on the skin at all. But obviously if our bodies are being constantly exposed to these chemicals, and there's a lot of toxins building up in our systems, you can get the primary chimneys can get clogged up, and then our secondary chimneys, as you can see on this again, will get affected as well. So our bodies really struggle to eliminate these toxins, and also the receptor cells in our bodies that communicate between each other, so the hormones and things like that, can become blocked, and that can completely disrupt everything. And it's just it just goes downhill basically. But yeah, so what we're going to look at today is why it's actually good to clean with natural solutions. And obviously you can see that we've spoken about all of the negative things, but why is it a good thing to clean with natural solutions? Obviously, as we've said, they're safe for you and your family. I mean, for me, I quite like cleaning with my children, and if I'm cleaning with natural solutions, I don't mind them cleaning with me. I don't mind if they get it on their hands. I don't mind if they spray too much. I don't mind if they inhale it. So that's a really nice way of doing it. They're very cheap. If you make your own products, as you said you have, Ruth, already, they really are very, very cheap and easy to make. Fun, actually, I think. Obviously highly effective as well. I find all the products I make are just as effective, if not more effective, than anything I was using before, and I just enjoy the smell more. And obviously environmentally friendly. You're not kind of using products that are then going to go down the drain and obviously pollute everywhere. Or again, packaging, recycling. I've got one glass bottle I use, and I just refill that every couple of weeks, and that's it. I don't buy anything. I don't throw anything away. But yeah, obviously essential oils and pure essential oils have amazing cleaning properties as well, which we will talk about tonight in a bit. So for example, antiviral, a lot of them are antiviral, so they protect against viruses. Antifungal, so they inhibit the growth of fungus. Antimicrobial as well, so they destroy any microorganisms or again inhibit their growth. Fungicidal as well, and antibacterial, of course. And they make fantastic cleaners, but they also make the house smell amazing. And while you're cleaning, the essential oils can actually be having therapeutic benefits as well. So they can be uplifting your mood, or they can be calming you down, or they can get you motivated, or all these things. You can be using them, and they also completely change. They remove all the pathogens in the air as well. So we will talk about that in a minute. because yeah, there's so many different ways that you can use these. So what I'm going to do is just briefly go into some details about essential oils. So what is an essential oil? Essential oil is a volatile aromatic compound which is in the plant. So it can be from the bark or the stem or the root or the leaf or the petal, depending on which oil it is, or which it comes from different places in the plant. And these are incredibly powerful. They are about 50 to 70 times more powerful than their herbal equivalent. So just to give you an idea, one drop of peppermint is the same as 28 cups of peppermint tea. So a little really does go a long way, and they're very, very powerful. So they are generally steam distilled, except for the citrus oils. We'll talk a lot about the citrus oils tonight. Those are cold pressed. Citrus oils are amazing in cleaning, and we'll discover why in a bit. But yeah, obviously, above all, these oils are safe. They're incredibly pure, which we'll talk about in a minute, and they are safe. So you don't have to worry about using too much or all these sorts of things. You could just literally use them and just add them into your cleaning, basically. Right, so obviously there are so many different brands out there, and this is a question I get all the time. Well, why these oils? Why are these so special? And there's various reasons. Obviously, here there's a couple of slides here. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because we are here to talk about cleaning. But the reason that doTERRA oils are different is because in the industry with essential oils, there's no regulation at all. So you can go to any shop, any high street health food shop, any supermarket, and you can buy an essential oil, and it can say 100% pure. But it can contain as little as like 3% of that oil and still be labelled as 100% pure. Now, there's 3 types of oils, of essential oils, basically, 3 grades. There is synthetic, which is 95% of the oils on the market are synthetic and potentially quite hazardous to your health. Then there's food grade. Actually, there's 4 types. Sorry, there's food grade. There's therapeutic, and then there's doTERRA certified pure therapeutic grade, which basically doTERRA have created their own standard within the industry because there is no regulation at all. They have created basically a testing system that tests all their oils to make sure they are 100% pure and safe for you to use. So there won't be any artificial ingredients, no fillers, no fragrances, and nothing artificial at all. And they will be free of any contaminants. So things like pesticides and herbicides, you can be 100% sure that they are 100% pure, basically, which for me is really nice. When I'm using them on myself and I'm using them on my children, it's really, really nice to actually know that I am going to be using something that's really pure. And that's obviously what's going to go into my cells. Even when I'm breathing something in, it's still going into every cell in my body. So I want to make sure that it's pure. And the other reason why these oils are so special is because of where they source the oils. Now, each plant is grown indigenously, so doTERRA don't just go and farm them all in kind of somewhere in America because it's cheaper. They actually go and source these oils where they grow indigenously, so where they grow naturally, where they thrive. I mean, if you think about lavender grown in France in its perfect conditions with the right sun, the right soil, the right wind speed, altitude, everything, compared to lavender that would be grown next to the M25, I mean, you kind of get an idea. Obviously, these plants have the best possible chemical profile they could, and that means they are the best versions of themselves. So it's going to be the best oil for us to use, which is really nice to know and very effective. There's a model within doTERRA called co-impact sourcing, which they do when they source the oils. They don't just go in and set up, which a lot of essential oil companies do. They go into, they do, some others do source indigenously, and they go there and they set up a farm. They buy some land and they farm, they make a kind of distillery and all that there themselves, and they run that. But what doTERRA are doing is they're going in and they're creating a co-op. with the local villagers and the farmers and the people that actually have the knowledge about these crops, and they are basically putting it into their hands. They're creating income for them, they're creating a future, they're creating hope, all these really, really nice things that they're actually doing to help people, rather than just going in and getting the best that for them. They're actually looking at the bigger picture and the wider community, which for me is really nice. I like that idea that actually they're not just going in and whatever will do the cheapest, easiest thing. They do really have a heart. And the more I get to know this company, the more I know that actually there is so much stuff that they're doing. They do lots and lots of charity work as well. Their charity is called Healing Hands. And there's many projects all over the world, and they go in and they build schools, and they help people that have had like they went into Nepal and they built they've actually built the only 2 earthquake resistant schools there now, I think. But they really help with all these things. They really do care about where their growers, their community of their growers and all that sort of thing. So they're straight there to help if there's any issues, and they've built pipelines, and there's many projects. I'm not going to talk about them now, but if you want to know more, go on to source2you.com, because there's a lot of good stuff on there, and all about the sourcing and the charity work. So it's really good. Right, sorry. Right, so I was going to really hoarse voice now, sorry. So before I talk any more about this, this is basically the doTERRA Wellness Pyramid. And as you can see here, there are quite a few steps on this. And doTERRA, they're a health and wellness company. They don't just say, oh, use our oils and everything will be amazing. They realize it's a collective thing. And obviously here there are, it does start with eating at the bottom, a good diet and sourcing getting the right food, and everything is very, very important. Obviously exercise as well, doing some exercise. It doesn't have to be crazy exercise, just something you love every day. It's another thing that's actually really, really good. And then stress and rest management. So obviously this is one that's quite difficult for a lot of people to manage, but it's one of those things that it really does add to your issues and your illnesses sometimes if you actually can't rest and manage your stress, and it can actually cause illness and inflammation in the body. And it's one of those things now that, yes, you actually, obviously you're here on this call, so you're kind of aware that you want to change things, and that actually you're not happy necessarily doing things the way that you were. But it's one of those things you need to take it slow so you don't get overwhelmed. Just do 1 or 2 changes at a time. So don't just change all of these areas. Obviously today we're going to look at reducing the toxic load, but there's also things like informed self-care, and obviously, as I said, exercise and eating right as well. But yeah, so I mean, we're gonna basically what I'd recommend, and I'll explain this at the end, but there's a 10-day cleaning challenge, which is quite easy, but it's quite a good way of starting to use the oils in a slow way. But yeah, so I wouldn't do that many things. I would just slowly reduce some things, and then move on from there. There's no need to throw everything out and start completely in one go. That's not needed, basically. So what do you need to get started? So here we go. We've got here's lots and lots of different bits that we can use for cleaning our house. Obviously they're quite normal things that a lot of people use anyway. So baking soda, it absorbs and eliminates odors. Castile soap, which is like a natural, or soap in its natural form, lifts the dirt and cuts grease. Then we've got vinegar. So I just use white wine vinegar, but I think you can just use normal vinegar. It's amazing for grease. And then salt, we've got salt is a scouring agent. Excuse me. And it's great for things like unclogging sinks or anything like that. And then we've got coconut oil and essential oils, obviously, which we'll talk about in a minute, but they're really good to add to your products as well. And the best oils for cleaning, I find, lemon, lime, any of the firs are quite good. Eucalyptus is quite nice. Melaleuca, which is massively antibacterial. Purify, which is the blend, the cleansing blend, which is really nice. Thyme is also a good one. Peppermint, and obviously, of course, On Guard is a really good one because we'll talk about that. It's got clove in it, which is massively antibacterial. So obviously, they're very cheap, very easy to make, and you can blend them together with oils to make wonderful cleaning products. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in terms of making your own ones is that this is kind of as a in replacement of what we were talking about before with the plugins. So all those terrible fumes that you can get from those really bad air fresheners. So yeah, what you'd want to do, I mean, obviously diffusing is the easiest way, and not only are you getting all the benefits of what you would have got like from a plug-in, but also you're getting therapeutic benefits as well. So you're lifting your mood, you're helping your airways, you're killing all the pathogens in the air. It's not just a nice smell, and they also smell amazing. So I think much nicer than those horrible chemical ones you can plug in. But yeah, you can also, another thing you can do is you can obviously add plants to your home. They're very good for diffusing, basically purifying the air. They're really good. So there's also, so for example, essential oils that can be used to purify your home. One of them is a great one, is juniper berry. That smells really nice, and that really helps to purify everything. And then there's only a couple of drops needed. That's the thing. You can have your diffuser. This is my diffuser in the background. I don't know if you can see it there. Got lemon on in there at the moment, which kills all airborne pathogens and amazing for removing odours. So in there, basically, you just add a cup of water and a couple of drops of oil, and that's it. So that's what can completely change the air in your home. So I love that. I think that's really nice to be able to just plug that in and do it. You can also use it for things like mold. You can diffuse On Guard, the protective blend, to get rid of any mold. So that's very good. And yeah, it's definitely the healthiest way and the cleanest way to deodorize your home. And also you can get car diffusers as well. I know some people have those horrible tree things. I can't remember what they're called, but that you hang from the mirror. But actually you can get a car diffuser, which is like a little round metal or silver or whatever thing with a pad in it, and you just clip it onto the fan, and it vents all the nice air, which I think is really nice. Okay, so we're going to start with lemon. I use so much lemon, and this one basically is amazing in so many ways. Now, one of the main things, I'll just go from what this slide says, but it's a great fruit and veg wash. So if you, obviously we all try and eat organic, but obviously that's not always possible, and it's very expensive. So if you can't buy organic fruit or veg, you can just soak it in the sink, just add a couple of drops of lemon and sometimes a tiny bit of vinegar as well, some people do, for about 20 minutes, leave it in there to soak, and then take it, remove it all out of the sink, re-rinse it again, because obviously all the stuff that's been removed off the veg will be kind of clinging to it, so you need to wash it and rinse it, and then that's it. Obviously it doesn't remove all of the pesticides, but it's better than nothing, and obviously some of them have gone in already when they've been sprayed, and you know what it's like, but yeah, so that's a really good one to use. And you can also, I think they say for soft produce, things like berries, it's about 10 minutes, and then for fruit and vegetable it's about 20 minutes. So that's what I do, that all the time if I can't get organic stuff. Obviously, as I said before, lemon's amazing to neutralize odors, but also elevates the mood. It's the oil of focus, so it really helps. That's why I'm talking really fast. It really helps to keep you alert and going, which is great. But also it's an amazing degreaser, so you can use it for sinks, in the kitchen, ovens, toilets, bathtubs, showers, everything, dining room table, and it's great for anything sticky as well. So I've had it before where stuff hasn't come off, like stickers, for example, my children, hasn't come off, use a bit of lemon, done. Same thing with a permanent marker. My daughter drew all over the table in permanent marker, and I just got some lemon and I rubbed it all off and it's gone. So it's stuff that you just literally cannot get off. Just use lemon and it's great. And it's very cheap as well. Like this, for example, a glass spray bottle, so 500 ml glass spray bottle is about £1.45, which I thought was amazing. It's from Baldwin's, which is a great place to get all your kind of cleaning bits, because it's very important to use glass. Don't use plastic, because plastic will actually, the essential oils will actually take the toxins out of the plastic. So always try and use glass if you can. So for example, the bottle's £1.45. The recipe that I go from is 10 drops of lemon, but you can use other oils if you want. And then I fill the rest up with 250 ml of water. So lemon, 4p a drop, 10 drops, 40p. So that's incredibly cheap for a cleaner. And obviously you get to reuse the bottle. So it's just a no-brainer. And obviously you can also use it for mirrors and windows. It's very, very good for that. So let's see. So the next one we've got. So this is just an example of a soap. This is like a washing up liquid that I thought was quite good. So Castile soap again. There we've got. You literally just put it in a bottle. Some people use a much bigger bottle with a kind of clip top lid, and you just add the essential oils and the soap, and it's yum. It's really delicious. So the next one, this one I use quite a lot actually. I love this one. It's really, really good. One for the bathroom. So I use this in my shower, and it makes a kind of paste basically. So you mix it all together, and I just apply it to all the walls and everywhere, and then I leave it for about 10 minutes, and then I rinse it, and it literally, I've never seen my shower so clean. When I first did it, I was just so over the moon. So yeah, it's a really nice one. It's actually quite fun to use. So that's one. The next one, carpet cleaner. Obviously, we talked about the other carpet cleaners that are incredibly toxic. But this one is a really nice one that I actually need to do now because my carpet's really filthy. So, but yeah, obviously, commercial carpet cleaners contain harmful chemicals, but they are also very effective, obviously, at getting rid of things like ground in dirt and grime, and that is difficult to get rid of. But obviously you do need to take care of your carpet, and that's something in my house we don't really do because I've got 3 young children and our carpet is white, which is not a very good idea. But yeah, so you basically, you just need to kind of keep on top of spills and that sort of thing. So if anything does happen, kind of do it straight away. Don't let it like set in like I do. But yeah, this is a really good carpet cleaner that you could use anyway. And there's obviously Melaleuca is really good because it's got lots of cleansing properties in there as well. Now, on to the next thing. Now, this stuff is amazing. Let me just turn to the next. This is On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. Now, the On Guard I've spoken about a few times tonight. On Guard is the protective blend. It's lovely oils like rosemary and clove and eucalyptus and wild orange. Oh, sorry, it says it on there, I realise. And it's basically really, really good. This is what I use in most of my cleaning products. I make a hand soap, a foaming hand soap, and I use this in that. And also I make a multi-purpose spray as well with this, with the On Guard oil. But what they've done is, because the On Guard range is so popular, they have made a whole load of kind of sub-products. And this is one of them. This is the cleaning concentrate, and you need barely any. So this is a really, really nice one to use as a like a soap dishwasher, like a washing up liquid. So you just put 1 teaspoon of this, little goes a long way, and 1 teaspoon of the hand wash as well. You can buy a hand wash as well, and it kind of froths up and makes a really, really nice thing to wash your dishes with. Now, obviously, one thing we have to realise is that in a lot of things like Fairy Liquid and a lot of other of the other non-natural dish soaps, they do actually have special agents that make them froth up and make them bubble. And so this won't be as frothed up as that. But that's just fine. You just get used to it. After a while, you get used to it and it's fine. So this is one that is really, really great. And obviously, it doesn't have any things like petroleum, ammonia, chlorine, bleach, any borates, phosphates, nitrates, anything like that. So, and it's very, very good. And it's how nice to not have to use gloves as well. That's what I really, really love. Right, so then we talked about an oven cleaner before. And obviously, those oven cleaners are just horrible. So these are much, much better. This is one that I haven't actually used this one, but I would quite like to try it, and I might actually do that because my oven needs a clean. But yeah, baking soda is amazing, so you can definitely use this one, and obviously it's not toxic to you, which is nice to be able to do that. Now, the other thing a lot of people use is fabric softener. I personally don't use it, but I know that a lot of people do like it, and that's fine. But actually, did you know that vinegar is just as effective at softening your clothes? I didn't know this until I did the research for this presentation, but it's really, really good. And what you can do is you can add a couple of drops of your favourite oil, and then your clothes will smell amazing. And not only does the vinegar work really well as that, it's also it's non-toxic, and it removes soap residue on the rinse cycle, so it helps prevent things like static cling in the dryer and things like that. So it's really good. So yeah, you could use On Guard, you could use Purify, Wild Orange might be quite nice. So that's a really good one to know. But they also do a laundry detergent as well. And I haven't tried this. I'm actually ordering it this month because I'm really excited to use it. But obviously it's a very, very good one to use because it's, again, the On Guard blend. So it's massively antibacterial, and it's obviously got all those lovely, lovely smells in it. Now, obviously, a lot of companies, obviously, like with their laundry stuff, they have things that they always try and make them seem natural. So they have things like Summer Blossom and Meadow Fresh and all those things. But actually, they're just, they try to make you believe they're natural, but they're just full of synthetic fragrances, which can be really, really harmful to our bodies. And actually 80 to 90% of the fragrances are synthetic within this industry. So that's really shocking. And obviously, if they're synthetic, they're generally going to be doing you harm. And children as well. Your laundry comes in contact with all your children's skin, and they're touching it all the time. So you really have to be careful. Like things like eczema, they're on the rise, and people. So yeah, for me, it worries me quite a lot. And all you need is 1 teaspoon of this per load. That's it. So think about how far that will go for you. And yeah, it's such a lovely natural solution, that one. Now, another thing I quite like to use is this. So this isn't actually a cleaning product, but you can get your On Guard bottle when it's at the end, and you can fill it when it's got kind of nothing left, or so you think. Fill it up with water, and then buy a little spray nozzle and carry this around as a hand sanitizer. So this is amazing. I mean, you can use it at home, obviously. The oils are so pure, you could even spray it in your children's mouth if they had, if you kind of wanted to kind of cleanse the gums or anything like that. But you can take it with you. I have it in my bag, so if they need to wash their hands and they can't, you can just use this. So I love this. I think it's really, really nice to use. So I mentioned the 10-day cleaning challenge. Sorry, this hasn't really fit properly in this window. I apologise. I hope you can properly see it. What I'll do, don't worry about trying to kind of zoom in on this. I'm going to email you a free ebook after this class anyway, because this is a 10-day challenge. So it's kind of trying new things. So for example, day 1, make a window cleaner. Day 2, add a couple of drops of Purify oil to your air filter on your air purifier. Day 3, clean all the furniture, like all these little things, but kind of easy, quick ways to kind of start introducing the oils into your house. So yeah, that's a really, really good few things. I think I want to try a few on that one as well that I haven't used. Obviously, there are a lot more different other things that we haven't gone through, because obviously we would be here all night. But I'm going to send you an ebook which has loads of recipes for you, so you can get kind of start going. I know some of you have already obviously got the oils and you've already got an account, so you can just straight away go in and order there. Well, this is the ebook, so I will send that to you. And also with the ebook, to go along with the recipe, there's a whole printout of labels, so you could get all your lovely labels to go on your little glass bottles. So I'll email those over to you. So that's basically everything. And obviously it's one of those things that this does take time. As I said before, it's not going to be straightforward and really, really quick, especially depending on how much of the toxic products you have in your house. But obviously it's definitely worth doing. I mean, they improve the green products, obviously, and essential oils. They'll improve the air quality inside. That's a massive thing for me. Obviously, they lower the health risks by compared to normal cleaning products, which for me now are a no-go. I can't actually even do them. I look at them like, but yeah, so it's been proven that using green products for cleaning can reduce health issues such as eye, respiratory and skin burns or irritations, allergies, headaches, chemical poisoning, nausea, and even reproductive hazards. So that's what I was saying about hormones, the hormone disruptors. Very, very important to start looking at these things. And obviously, money-wise, green products are the best answer. They're compared with other products, they cost a lot less. But yeah, so what I'll do, I can briefly mention here now. Let me have a look. So if you are interested in starting with some essential oils, I know some of you might already have your oils. I'm going to briefly explain how it works with doTERRA. Basically, there are 3 ways to get these oils. The first way is retail, which is, to be honest, not very popular because most people, you don't get any support with that, and also you pay 25% more, so not many people do that. The second way, which is to become a wholesale customer, is the way most people do it. I think there's over 6 million people buying doTERRA very, very regularly. And yeah, so that's the way that we do it normally for people. And the way that works is you pay £24 and you become a wholesale member. That gives you 25% off everything you buy. And it also gives you a wellness consultation with me. So I will sit down and I will talk to you about your oils and how these oils can help you in your life. And not only in the cleaning, like we've spoken tonight, but also emotionally and in your kind of physical ailments, everything like that. Basically, we'll go through everything. We sit down and we basically make a wellness plan for you. And I'll show you how to use your online account and just basically explain anything you need to know. And you also get access to an amazing amount of education about the oils. So you're not just left there to kind of use your oils. There's regular trainings. It's similar to this sort of thing. There's essential oils for cleaning. There's essential oils for pets, essential oils for children, everything you can imagine. There was one about cooking the other night, amazing. So everything you can imagine, it's covered, and you're part of our lovely, lovely community, which basically is very supportive. You're part of a Facebook group where you can ask questions, and there's lots of posts about the oils. So it's really, really nice. It's kind of more of a way of life, if that makes sense. So you're kind of there, supported by lots and lots of like-minded people, which I think they say that you're more likely to succeed in making changes if you're surrounded by like-minded people. So it's quite important to surround yourself with people like that. And then the third way, which is the most popular way, is actually to buy the oils as part of a starter kit. Now, doTERRA do some amazing kits, and they're heavily discounted because they're when you buy them as part of a set, basically. And the amazing thing is that they include the enrollment fee for free, so you don't pay the £24, that's included. And then you get all the benefits of membership, but obviously you're starting with a really, really good kit. Here are some examples. So on the left, you've got the Family Essentials kit. This is kind of more like a sample kit. The oils that you get 5 ml bottles, so the 10 core oils, which is lavender, lemon, peppermint, melaleuca, oregano, On Guard, Digescen, Deep Blue, Breathe, and frankincense. So really lovely group of oils that basically, a lot of those we talked about tonight, especially the On Guard, melaleuca, the lemon, and peppermint. So they're really, really nice ones to use. And they come together, and obviously you get the £24 included in that. And then there's the Home Essentials kit. This is the kit I started with. This is the most popular one, and for me, I think it's very, very good value. You get the same 10 oils, but in 10 ml bottles. Sorry, 15 ml bottles, apart from the Deep Blue, which is 5 ml always. And you get a free diffuser. So a diffuser is going to be amazing if you're looking at bringing these oils into your home as part of your cleaning and kind of detoxifying routine. So a diffuser is brilliant. And the doTERRA diffusers are made of a very special plastic that doesn't denature. If you buy a diffuser from Amazon, say, or somewhere on the high street, the chances are that the plastic that the diffuser is made of will actually, the oils will absorb all the toxins from that plastic, and they will actually release them into the air, which is not really what you want. So this is a very special plastic, so I definitely recommend getting a doTERRA one. And you can see this kit, you save £70 by buying it as part of the kit. But if you're really looking to go, right, that's it, I want to change everything, I want to be completely natural, then there's an amazing kit. This is brilliant. So this one is called the Natural Solutions Kit, and you save £188 by buying it as a part of a kit. So you really, really get a lot of great oils in there. And you also get some of the On Guard products. You get the 2 hand wash dispensers, you get the hand soap, you get the cleaning concentrate, and also the toothpaste, which is amazing. And in there's also coconut oil, which is very, very useful. I add that to my hand soap as well, because I don't use the doTERRA one, actually. I make my own out of their oils. But yeah, really lovely oils in there as well. So that's a really, really good one. And that's it. So have we got any, I'll unmute you. Actually, just if you, let me, yeah, hang on, I'll unmute you guys. And then, so does anybody have any questions? I'll just stop the recording.